watching HALENVILLE Live with Fruitcake Tony. Woo!
Oh, yeah.
All right, and we have made it out of the chute. We are live. It's Tuesday night, fellas. What's happening?
Hey, what's going on, Tony? I'm excited.
Yeah, me too, man. Fruitcake Tony, Ed Dubril, Charles Green along. HALENVILLE Live on July the 18th. Summertime, little after 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern.
Hot as a mofo out there.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Stay cool.
That's a flippin' understatement.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys,
You see
anyway.
you guys. Right on.
So we are very excited tonight to have finally be doing a show on the Van Halen mailing list. Yeah. This has been a little in the making, and we brought in a special guest from the mailing list. Ed Dubril right here was very active on the Van Halen mailing list in its entirety. And Ed is going to take us along a cool journey of what it was like back in the 90s and early 2000s with being on the Van Halen mailing list. Whether you were on it or not, we all remember it. And if you're old like us, that was probably a different part of our lives, a transitional part of our lives. And, you know, I was just getting married and having kids. And
Me too.
Yeah.
I had twins in '94.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I still haven't grown up yet. Yeah.
We know, Charles.
He's just not telling us how many kids.
You're still a kid.
Yeah.
It's good to see you guys, man. This is cool. This is very cool.
So, Tony, before we get started, I just want to thank you for allowing us to discuss this on your platform on HALENVILLE Live, because I think it's a very important part of the Van Halen online community history. You know, it's one of the first, if not the first, of its kind. And,
it is.
You know, we've come a long way since then. You know, here we are talking face to face. Back then, I didn't know what these people looked like. I knew their personalities, that's for sure.
Right.
You know? And you got hazed, but especially if you're a newbie.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. But anyway, I just want to thank you before we start.
Oh man, it's my pleasure, dude. Dude, I'm jacked about this show tonight. Hell yeah. Absolutely. I don't want to forget anything, but we have a special guest, and I want to explain our special guest too, and I'll do that in just a moment before we bring him in and how I met Ron. Yeah, very cool. But first, guys, let's see who is here with us in the chat. All right.
50,000 people.
There is our friend OU812. Just
Ryan
got off the air. Yeah. So I hope all of you watched OU812. Talked about the new Mammoth WVH announcement about their new tour with Nita Strauss yesterday. And but go check them out, OU812. He just got, and thank you for sending them over here, Ryan.
You rock, Ryan.
Dude. Yeah,
you
man.
rock, bro.
Now we babysit.
So let's see who's down at. There is our brother Tommy. What's up, Tom?
Good to see you, Tommy.
There is
Hey, Tom.
Joe Herbie 84. What's
Right
up,
on,
bro?
It's good to see you, bro. It's good to see you.
See you, man. Let me see who else. Tim Thomas is in the house. What's up,
Right on,
dude?
Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Doug Fox, good to see you. Welcome, man.
Hey, right on, bro.
Welcome.
Right on.
Welcome to HALENVILLE, Doug.
We'll show you some of those shirts. There's one here. Ron's got a few, and there's more other stuff too. There's some cool stuff. Yeah, we'll show you shortly. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Scott Gilbert, good to see you.
Scott,
Right
my
on,
man.
Scott. Welcome to HALENVILLE, bro.
Love Scott.
All right. Laser Guided is in the house. Right on.
Mr.
Ah, Mr.
Hackler.
Daddy. Welcome to HALENVILLE,
What's up,
brother.
John?
All right. RS5150, welcome.
What's going on,
Right
man?
on.
Guitar
RS.
Man
Welcome,
45.
brother.
Bo is in the house.
Good to see you,
Symmetry is in the house.
Hey, Trev.
Yeah. After a long weekend, Trev, I'm surprised he can even stand.
Use a computer.
Yeah. So there is the badass bass player for the Mighty Mean Street, Jay Turner, in
What's
the
up, Jay?
house.
Jay. Right on, brother.
There's Kurt right there, part of
Hey,
the bus
Kurt.
crew.
Good to see you, bro.
Kurt.
Hey, Kurt. Kurt was on the list.
Let me see who else. There's Hit Metalworks. Right on, dude.
All right, man. It's good to see you, bro.
Yeah. Nice to see you the other night
Right on, bro. Right
over
on, man.
Mr. Ben's channel.
Right on, dude.
Ryan, what's up, bro?
Hey, Ryan.
Good to
What's
see
up,
you,
brother?
bro.
Good to see you,
I
man.
miss you, Ryan.
All right.
I haven't spoken to Ryan in a minute.
Hey, Patrick. Well,
Hey, Patrick.
all right. I'm going to scroll
Right on,
back
Patrick.
down. If you're in here and you're just joining, say hello in the chat. It's nice to see you. It's Tuesday night. This is HALENVILLE Live. Rob Blackmore official. Good to see you, sir. We talk Van Halen
bro.
and Mammoth
Good to see you, man.
WVH every Tuesday right here, 9 p.m. Thanks for stopping by.
Right
Yeah.
on, guys.
So, hey, Stephen Franklin.
Steven, right there, guy.
Right on, bro. All right. And there's Bryce. Good to see Bryce.
Hey, Bryce.
Welcome to HALENVILLE, Bryce. Right on, bro.
Right on. All right. So last year, out of the blue, on my porch, I find this really cool Ross Halfin book. Okay. And it came with a nice letter, and it was from Ron Pio. And he was kind enough to send, and this is a huge book.
That's a really cool
This Ross
book.
Halfin book, you're familiar
It's massive.
with it. Yeah, and the cover is the hard cover itself. But so when
Hey,
we
Dwight.
were, what Ed?
I'm sorry, I said hi, Dwight.
Oh, I thought you were
Hitman in the
talking to
house,
me.
Tony.
I thought you were talking to me, bro.
Sorry, I couldn't contain my excitement. I'm sorry.
Nice to see you, Dwight. Yeah, always do. So when we were talking about this show and this topic, the Van Halen mailing list, Ed mentioned Ron, and I was like, yeah, absolutely.
So Tony, you had never met Ron, and he just sent you that book?
That's right.
Wow.
No, I had never met Ron. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, we did a whole episode on that lovely book.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. There's our 2R3 Lock and Nut, our Van Halen.
Right there, brother.
He's
right there, bro.
Ryan's OU812 crew. Nice on a while ago. Yeah, man. Martian Murray, good to see you, dude.
Hey, Martian, what's up, bro? All right, brother.
But so, Ron has sent us some stuff. Ron is so awesome. I'm gonna bring Ron in, but I gotta show you this stuff, man. This stuff is so cool. That Ron was so kind enough. Let me show you this.
Oh, that's cool swag, bro.
Wait till you see it, Charles.
Oh, dude.
The rest of it.
This is cool.
Look at that. Con 4.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. I mean, really nice.
Nice.
And look.
The cup.
Oh, that's great.
At the Riot House. At the Riot House on the Sunset Strip. You know that place, right?
My goodness.
Look,
dude, Tony, you scored, brother.
Look, it gets better. Look.
Yeah. Just wait. There's more. Con 3.
Wow.
Las Vegas.
Wow. Oh, dude.
And Rob Bain's pass.
Cool. That is super cool.
Rob, thank you, dude. I got your pass if you want it back. Here's another pass. It's very cool.
Oh, dude, this is cool, man.
Denise. Something. Yeah. Oh, a MiniCon. A Midwest MiniCon. Wow. Chicago.
In Chicago, yeah.
That's great.
Thanks, Denise. All right. And
that's
here,
excellent.
And look, so you're going to like this one. We're all going to like Look.
It's too bad he's not here.
Cinco de Mulli. Look.
Oh, man.
Cinco de Mulli.
May 5th, 2001. Cinco de Mulli. Here's the reverse. Look.
The soup can.
That's excellent. Man,
that's great.
Good Lord.
Mully, I got your pass, bro, if you want it. But dude, let me get out of here.
Wow.
Thank you, Ron.
You want to see mine?
Yeah, dude.
Well, I got the same lineage as you did, the Con 4 and the Con 6. But I also got a Bag T Bay Area Get Together. Pam Muller's. I don't know why she didn't have it. And Bradman's Birthday Bash. That's Brad Starks.
No, that's my birthday, November 13th.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, what a trip.
I also have Ellen Lloyd's pass from Vegas in 2000 Con. I guess. Winterfest 2000 on here, so it must have been a Winterfest.
Oh, that's cool.
And I also have the Con 3 as well. On the back it says guest pass. So, and the cup, obviously.
Nice.
So Ron P.O., you outdid yourself. Thank you. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
dude.
it. What a
Excellent
guy.
swag, guys.
And while it's on my mind, I'm gonna show you this shirt too. How you like that?
Wow.
Oh, dude. Oh, I like that.
Con 5.
Nice.
That's beautiful.
All right.
Hi, Monique.
Okay. Hey, Monique. All right. Okay, so I will say that in probably about the hour mark, give or take, we'll pause and go to the fridge and do some nearly impossible Van Halen trivia. And tonight we'll be playing for $1 million Van Halen bucks.
$1 million.
Yeah, that's the bet.
Nice.
I'm a millionaire. I have those.
And we'll chunk you in the envelope a actual 1971 decorder. How about it?
There you go.
Very.
Anybody in the chat is eligible to play.
Yes, we'll do that at about the 1 hour mark or so. And it's always my wish that somebody new that's never won wins. So I hope that's the case. Some weeks nobody gets the answer because they're so difficult, but I think this one might be a little easy, Ed.
I got it, but
I didn't get it.
There was some I don't. There was some you stumped me as well, but I got that one.
All right, if you're just joining us, this is Halenville Live. We talk Van Halen and Mammoth WVH every Tuesday right here. If you're not subscribed, please do so. We're approaching 1,000 subs. Yes. Thank you. And we do talk Van Halen here every Tuesday. So, yeah, 9 p.m. right here. All right, so let's not waste any more time, Ed.
Yeah.
Do you want to introduce Ron here?
No, I'll allow you to. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, so ladies and gentlemen, our friend Ron Pio, there he is.
What's up?
Right on, Ron.
Ron, what's up, dude?
Right on, man.
You guys, you're something else, I'll tell you.
We have fun, man.
Wow. Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to be here, and thank you for all of the accolades. This is, wow, it's a little overwhelming.
Ron, thanks for being here. Thanks for all the swag, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Ron.
Well,
yeah,
you should know
nice.
that my basement is a little emptier now, so thank you guys.
And Ron, I very much loved my Ross Halpin book, so thank you again, sir.
You're very welcome. Very welcome, Tony.
Yeah.
So, Ron, I've heard Tony's story about him getting that book, and we did a show on that book. But what possessed you to send him that book?
What possessed me?
Yeah, because that's a really cool thing, and I'd just love to know the backstory on his front story.
All right. Well, just between you and me, Charles.
Yeah. Nobody else listening anyway.
Just no one else is listening. So what happened was that when I had ordered, and as with many Van Halen extremists, people like to buy multiple copies of things. And as fate would have it, I had actually ordered the one with, or I wanted the one with the hard shell. It's back on the shelf behind me. It's quite heavy, and it's a metallic outer sheath. But for some reason, I had ordered the one that Tony actually possesses right now. So here I am sitting with these two huge coffee book tables, coffee table
They
books.
are tables.
They are tables. And it's like, well, what am I going to do? They're both identical. So spun the wheel of fortune, and happened to be flipping through YouTube, saw Tony's channel. I said, that guy seems to have a nice demeanor, seems to have a good heart. I'll just send it his way. And when I asked him for his address, he didn't say, "What are you, a pervert?" He said, "Here you go, Ron." And that's and the rest is history.
Yeah, right on.
That's excellent.
Wow.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you for that, bro.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That is amazing.
So Ed, let's start with you there. We've talked about the mailing list for a little bit, and actually doing the show, and every time that we talk about it, you're very excited.
I perk up. Yes.
I can always tell. Yeah. So during the start of the internet, that was the precursor to what we're doing here today.
Yes.
That was the only means that Van Halen fans had, or the greatest means at the time.
Yes.
And it began as a wonderful thing, and it stayed that way. And as technology and the years passed, it became other things also. But in those days, in 1990, with the type of music I grew up on, Andy, plus coupling the fact that I was just starting a family, you lose touch with a lot of people who you grew up with and who you know. But so you meet these people on the internet, and when were you there at the very start of things, Ed?
No, I started 1997. I became a member early in '97. They had just switched servers over to and it exchanged hands lots of times. It began in '92, and I don't know which person. It began at Cornell University with Steve. I have Descala. Ron, you have what was
DiCarlo.
DiCarlo. I don't know which last name is correct. Anyway, and once this guy graduated, he turned it over to another guy, Mike Heasley, and so on and so on. And it exchanged hands as servers, either went away or dumped them because of all the traffic that we were creating. And it lasted until like 2019 or so. Brad Starks, the webmaster of the official website, he ran it for a while when I started at Sonic.net. So I started in '97, and it went up to about, as far as we can tell, 2019 was the last of it on Yahoo Groups. And Yahoo Groups ended their mailing list stuff, and we went over to Facebook. Tim Hyatt is the current administrator of the Van Halen mailing list Facebook group. And there's a lot of old members there, and every once in a while there's some posts, but it's kind of quiet.
Were you there at the onset, Ron?
I was not. I migrated in circa 1994, 1995, and it was again, it was the early days. We're talking about having the dial-up service on internet, unless of course you were at a university or someplace that had a high bandwidth feed coming in. And so, of course, if you remember back in the day, you would get those discs in the mail for AOL.com, and then you'd load it on your machine, and then you'd connect it to your phone line, and you'd hear the dial tone, and eventually you'd hear, "You've got mail." And with the advent of that, and you start doing searches, and this is worldwide. I'll just type in Van Halen and see what comes of it, and lo and behold, you find one thing and another. And if I could just as an aside say, I'm sure we could all relate to the older days when you looked in the back of your Hit Parader or your Cream magazines or Goldmine magazines, and you'd see ads for Eruption videos, or you would get these mailers with just pages and pages of all these bands that you could buy bootlegs from. And so we're coming from that generation to a point where, wow, you can actually talk to people, and
I still get those lists.
Oh. So anyway, I chanced upon and unfortunately it's from files I have from an old Apple Macintosh, which are probably too difficult to try and decrypt right now. I chanced upon this thing called the Van Halen mailing list. And the other interesting thing is, through the years, but especially then, you come into this saying, I'm the greatest Van Halen fan in the world, until you meet other Van Halen fans. And you learn pretty quickly that there's a whole nother universe of people who know things, information is shared. And so anyway, getting back to joining the list, I started off, and I would also like to add to those viewing at home that by no stretch am I the foremost authority on the VHML. It's kind of like whenever the Action 4 news team shows up at an accident site, and they see a guy who was a witness to it all, and they interview him. So that's kind of how I see myself tonight. I was there. I saw a lot of it.
What exactly happened, sir?
Can I get a witness?
Sir, please. What is your name, sir?
Anyway.
So for those people who don't know what a mailing list is, it's not a news group. It's not a bulletin board. It's sort of like doing a group text, so to speak, only you get it in email form. And we would get hundreds of emails per day. And if you subscribe to digest mode, you would get 50 emails at a time, a few times a day, depending on how many emails were exchanged. And my job, I was out in the field, and I didn't have access to a computer all day at an office. So I couldn't wait to get home and find out, who responded to this, or what's going on with this flame war with these people, and who said what, and it was like a soap opera. There were characters, and you knew their personalities, and you couldn't wait to get home and see. And I spent hours. I mean, sometimes I'd look at the clock and go, oh my God, it's 3:00 in the morning. I have to go to work soon. And you just get so engrossed in what's going on, and sitting there waiting for the email to show up of a certain person you might be discussing something with. And it wasn't always Van Halen stuff. It was off topic, because as we know, the band, had a lot of hiatuses, and there wasn't much going on.
Nice to see you, bro.
Randy.
Let me ask you and Ron.
Yep.
Ed, what were the numbers? How many names were on the Van Halen list in the early days, 92, 93, 94, and what did it become? How many names?
When I started, there was probably about 800, I think.
900.
Yeah, 900. I don't know if those numbers dwindled over time or what happened, but
good to see you.
You can go on the Wayback Machine and go back to the old website, and you can look at the members' bios. Bill. And at that time, when I'm looking at, 2002, there's
graphite.
About 500 people, and they're all listed here. A lot of old names that bring me back, man. But anyway, yeah. So it got up there. It got up to about 1,000. It might have gotten more as time went on. It might have gotten less. I don't know. There was a council of, I guess they were sort of administrators, but it was unmoderated. So people were saying stuff about each other's mothers, and I mean, there was some. You got hazed if you were a newbie. If you were a new person, a newbie, and you asked a stupid question that you should know as a Van Halen fan. I mean, they all came out of the woodwork and started saying, calling you all kinds of names, but it was all in fun, and you eventually realized that. There was netiquette, what they call netiquette, which was network etiquette, and there were certain things that you shouldn't do, and read the rules before you join. That's for sure.
So there was actual drama surrounding the band Van Halen. Amazing. I think that is just awesome. This is so. You guys were after. So what year? 90? Did I hear that correct? 92.
92 is when it started. I joined in early 97, and Ron was what, 94? You said
94, 95, yeah.
94,
but
95.
This is too all the while paralleling the start of the internet.
Yeah.
So you have to. Things were a little different then. And it grew as technology grew, and
yeah, I can only reemphasize what Ed was mentioning about getting just. I think when I was talking to you guys before, I mentioned with the phone line connections, it was like a snake swallowing a watermelon, where you would just wait for the download of hundreds of emails. And Ed, I think you remember you could subscribe to the list two ways, either all the individual emails or in a digest format.
Right.
And
exactly.
I opted for the individual emails because
Me too.
When you got a digest, it's like, well, you get a Reader's Digest version, and at least I could sort things chronologically and follow the threads maybe a little bit better.
Right.
But it was just. You talk about going down a rabbit hole on YouTube nowadays. It might be akin to what we were doing back in the days, reading all of these emails, and of course, there was always a chain on the listing, and so if you didn't recognize something and you wanted to come up to speed, you would go back and reread the earlier email exchanges, and otherwise you're sitting there scratching your head saying, how did we get from point A to point B?
Right.
So these conversations were mid-90s. We're talking about the speed of getting the information between you guys was getting better and better. It was nowhere near as good as it is today. So you would sit in anticipation waiting for this. Now, how deep? You were saying rabbit holes. You're talking about rabbit holes. I mean, did they ever? I guess it was.
It was a glorious time in Van Halen at the time. Not to interrupt you, Charles, but keep that in mind. It was a very glorious time in the band. So.
Yeah, we thought Dave was joining the band, and then whoop, I guess not. And then Gary came along, and they went on tour right away. And
well, I mean, early 92.
Oh, 92, yeah. It was a great time back then, I'm sure. I wasn't part of the list back then, but yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I'm doing the Van Halen timeline in my head as you guys are giving out dates, 92, 93, 94, 95. I'm there with you. The amount of information coming from the band Van Halen over those years, I'll call it the early years of the mail, what we're talking about. There's so much information coming from them at that time. There's still drama. There was always drama. I'm just wondering, so the group of people that were involved in the mailing list, there really were no boundaries. The conversations could go anywhere, essentially. Did they ever start talking about, I imagine they would talk about Valerie. Would they ever talk about maybe the families? Were there any, how deep did they go, guys? I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
She was on the list, actually. Valerie joined the list.
Okay.
And her one of her names was Yoko. That was her. She called herself Yoko. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, she also was
Val.
VABVH.
Yes.
That's cool. That is cool.
She would chime in every once in a while, and everybody respected her.
Any other family members that were kind of tucking under the radar? I also want to know what Kurt 5150's alias was. I'm just asking. Bro.
I think it was Kurt 5150. Pretty sure. So yeah, VABVH, Valerie Yoko. She was on every once in a while. But the problem was when there was nothing going on with the Van Halen camp. Mm-hmm. We just discussed other things. Yeah, or we would say, hey, what's going on? Anybody have any news? What's happening?
Maybe hoping what the future held for the band.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Ed. We all have seen at least, but a lot of us are members of various social media Van Halen groups, and we see all the drama that hopefully we don't participate. We see it, and the subjects of drama. What was drama like on the mailing list? What was a juicy topic back about Right Here, Right Now tour? 93, 94 in there. What was the buzz if somebody had something to say?
There might be somebody in the chat that was on the list that early. But like I said, I started in 1997 and Ron in 94. So he was there during that time, part of that time.
Yeah, I would say, thinking back, buzz, Val was on the list. There was an association with Scotty Ross, who was there. Mm-hmm. He's a tour manager. Is that his proper title?
Yes.
And so for the 3 tour, there of course were there was a courtesy that was extended to the list for meet and greets and for a ticket for a show. And so there's a lot to try and explain in terms of the VHML with the timeline and what happened at different points. But when we talk about like a sweet spot, perhaps when the 3 tour was going on just before, whenever the MTV Awards with Dave coming on stage with the rest of the band, with Me Wise Magic coming out, and case in point, I remember certain members were like up all night trying to figure out the lyrics for Me Wise Magic. It was it kind of, during that tour, one offshoot that I can specifically remember, and it then kind of gelled with the advent of the cons, was if you knew a concert was going on and you knew people from the list, you would try and get together. All right. And it started on a very grassroots level and then eventually evolved to a much bigger gathering, a much bigger overall situation. So, but that's the social part of it, with actually meeting real people versus their keyboard warrior status.
When did that start, Ron?
Well, case in point, one of the biggest situations would have been with the 3 tour. Prior to that, what Van Halen was on the Right Here, Right Now tour, if memory serves correct. all you Van Halen experts chime in here. And
Right.
I think that's really when it started to gel, Tony. That's yeah.
Well, when did the cons start?
First one, 1996.
1996. Okay.
Chicago.
Okay.
Downtown Chicago. It was, I think, a modest gathering, and it was, I think it was actually in a Holiday Inn. I know that there are people who I know people who actually were there. I know at least one person who was. No, I know two people who were there, but they had this, and it was a very nice gathering, and they said, okay, let's do it again next year. It got traction, and they went big time, and it was in Vegas. So in total, there were 6 cons, 6 Super Bowl of cons, the big con of the year, let's say, and then many different mini cons. And then, of course, other subsequent gatherings, whether it's concerts or long weekends or what have you. But yeah,
so,
it was in.
And at these big ones, the annual ones, what was the attendance?
So at the first one, I think it was a humble gathering. I don't know the exact numbers. I know for the second con, I want to say, and forgive me if I'm misspeaking, maybe around 50, 60 people, maybe. By the time we were up to con 4, con 5, I want to say it was probably in the neighborhood of maybe 120. At least there were 120, 130 people who were subscribed or intended to come. So it really blossomed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott Gilbert makes a good point. He said that the list members got 2 free ticks and meet and greet and all that stuff and that's in part due to Scotty Ross, correct, Ron?
Right.
I mean, I wasn't able to attend that, but I wish. But and a disposable camera.
The disposable camera, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to mention this during con 3, also in Vegas. For those who aren't aware of the 6 cons, first one was held in Chicago. Con 2 and Con 3 were held in Las Vegas. Con 4 was held in to our neighbors to the north of the U.S. in Canada, Toronto. Had a big, heavy, enthusiastic group of Van Halen fans up there. Con 5 in 2000 was in Los Angeles, which was very sweet because you're kind of in the mecca of Van Halen at that area. Of course, everybody knows up the hill, Coldwater Canyon, and Ed's up there at the 5150, and you have Guitar Center with all the hand imprints in front of the Guitar Center. So that was a very cool place to have it. And then in 2001, it went back to Las Vegas. So those were the main cons. But in Con 3 in 98, which was, again, midsummer, bands on tour, and you go to this convention. Of course, it's the second one for a lot of people, third one for some. And you get done with going to Las Vegas, and then you find out Van Halen is doing a show at the Joint at the Hard Rock Hotel in October. 2 shows. The Joint was a rather intimate venue, about 2,000 people, if I remember correctly. And,
Wow.
You just get back from a con, you're feeling all that love, and you tell friends and family, oh, I'm going back to Las Vegas to go see a Van Halen concert.
What?
Yeah.
So,
So Ron, convention number 5 in Los Angeles. Didn't you guys go to the Whiskey to go see Atomic Punks?
We did. Actually,
Nice.
the Atomic Punks played our convention twice. They played at Con 2 in 1997 at a place off the strip called Pinky's. And in Con 5, they played the Whiskey at, and again, you know, you've seen them on America's Got Talent. There's Ralph Sayans, you know, 28 years later, still doing
and
that.
All you guys at there are there. That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
We when we were in Los Angeles, we stayed at the Hyatt, which is as the cup indicated, the Riot House, and it has a formidable history with rock stars and people riding motorcycles through the hallways. And there we were on the Sunset Strip, walking down to the Whiskey for the show. It was a fabulous time. It was just so much fun.
Must have been, yeah.
That's excellent, bro.
What's up, Boner Jams?
Hey,
Boner.
there we
What's
go.
going on, brother?
Right on, man.
Under the Bus crew in the house tonight. Good to see you guys. They'll be on tomorrow, 9 o'clock, Wednesday, Under the Bus. Yes, sir.
Doug Fox says Atomic Punks also played Con 5, a private show just for the VHML in Vegas.
So
Whoa.
hi Doug. I was not at Con 6. My mother had passed away at that time, so I wasn't able to attend. But yeah, I gets a little foggy for me at that phase. And so if Doug indicates that Doug's a good journalist or former journalist, so
There he is.
very
The
accurate.
Colonel is here.
There he is. Hey, man.
Tony, show him.
Hey, bro. Guess what? I got your pass, dude. Nice.
That is awesome.
So I should clarify, Tony, that obviously when making passes, and I kind of got into the gig of doing that, you know, for logistics purposes, you make multiples, and you know, you have first runs, second runs, and so what I had sent you guys were some extras that were left over. So Molly, I don't remember if you were actually at that BAGT number 9 or not, but it was.
Hey, Bill Broadway. What's up, man? I didn't see you in
Welcome,
there.
Bill.
Hello, Bill.
Colonel Mully says he was there.
Okay, then that was an extra that I had sent.
That is so cool, man.
Hey, Silva, what's happening, buddy?
Yeah. We do have some really cool images from Van Halen mailing lists, from the cons, and all kind of stuff. Maybe even some of the Atomic Punks. Are there any of those in there, Ed?
I didn't see them, no.
No.
What year would have that been with the Atomic Punks? You said they played
Multiple.
twice?
97,
Mhm.
2000, and 2001, according to Doug.
Doug, yeah.
Very cool.
Let's look at some
Christopher, right there.
mailing list stuff, shall we?
Sure.
All right. Okay. How's that look?
All right.
So this is actually the 1999 Van Halen mailing list calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Tony. So now, you know, nowadays on Facebook, you can denote your birthday and advertise that. But back in the day, what was done was to give attention to everybody on their special day. We had published, the list had put together a calendar and when you would flip through that calendar, it would list someone's birthday is. So it was nice.
I like the lawnmower.
That is excellent. Excellent.
All right. Nice calendar. Yeah, wow.
Just a collage of people, right? We don't fuck around.
So looking at these photos, I remember from the 3 tour, there was one girl from Brazil. I think her name was Jana, I think. Hardcore Van Halen fan, and I think especially for Gary, but she had gotten tattoos on her legs of the faces of the band. And this was, at an age before tattoos on legs, much less on women's legs, was very popular. And so, it's a kind of a point of irony. Here she goes, and she has Ed's tattoo on one. I think it was the thigh, but it might have been on the shins. I can't remember. But then she also got Gary's face. Then you find out, with that tattoo. But, it's all good.
Yeah. I got a Van Halen tattoo. I think everyone should have a Van Halen tattoo.
That is cool, brother. My goodness, man.
Yeah. So how many years did you make these, Ron?
Well, I was not involved with the calendars. I was predominantly associated with the laminates and the lanyards.
Yeah.
And it was from Con 2 through Con 6, and then a splattering of mini cons.
Yeah.
I bet there's been so much merch that's been created from your group over the years. I bet it is just mind-boggling, bro.
Okay, so you have up on the screen right now, this is a certificate from Con 3, where one of the activities that we did was have a Van Halen Jeopardy.
Trivia.
It was a trivia contest. And as you can see, the chairs, co-chairs at that time were Ellen Lloyd, Ron Higgins, and Brad Starks was the VH Jeopardy MC. He came in with a tuxedo, and his cummerbund had a Eddie striping on it and an Eddie striped bow tie.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
went through, and it was I can't remember if John Shell won that or not. He was the FAQ boy at the time, but yeah, it was a lot of fun things.
That is excellent, dude.
Nice.
This is like a class reunion.
Just I'm not that you might have it, but did anyone videotape your gatherings and get-togethers by any chance? For old, I bet somebody had to. I'm sure they did.
Yes, there were videotapes. Actually, I have got several videotapes, and I think there's a screen capture of some.
We've got a video of one of the cons. Which one is it, Ed?
Number 5 in 2000. It's somebody walking through the room and the people and the tables and all the swag and everything.
Yeah, yeah. It's about a minute long. We'll show it.
Yeah.
Also,
it's really neat.
Later.
That is so cool. You're holding up VHS tapes, bro, and these people actually get to look back. You have all that time capsule. That is fantastic.
They took tapes of the jam sessions. I mean, because obviously there was music, Van Halen music there. It's almost like the EVH con they have in Connecticut nowadays, where people just get up and play Van Halen music.
Right.
That is too cool, man. That is too cool. KXM rocks. What's going on, brother?
Nice. All right, so while we're looking at this, since we are at almost at the hour mark, we'll stop that here, and yeah, we'll go into some trivia.
Very cool.
And we can go to the fridge, grab another drink. That's your sound. Hurry back. Hurry back. Go, go. We're gonna pull some nearly impossible Van Halen trivia on you guys.
Hey, Tony, Christopher Silva says that we need an annual Show Me Your Pick championship certificate.
Oh.
That's from the man himself right there, Tony. So
he said it. So we are going to play nearly impossible Van Halen trivia. I'm going to show you a question on the screen.
So cool.
And type the correct answer in the chat. And if you do, let me show them once again what we're going to play for. $1 million Van Halen bucks right there. Good luck.
Invest it, kids.
That's right.
Put that in the bank. And a actual 1971 D quarter for you. Yeah.
So $1,000,025.
$1,025,025. We do this every week. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. We talk Van Halen every single Tuesday. If you are, in fact, a winner for tonight, and I hope we have a new winner, guys. I always hope there's somebody.
No offense, Christopher.
Won before. Yeah. But these Van Halen kids, they know their stuff. Good God, I'm telling you, I ain't lying to you. They know their Van Halen. God damn, they do.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's find the question, and we'll do it. There's a email address down below. Trivia winners email me your name and address, and I'll mail you out that prize pack. I'll chunk in some really cool HALENVILLE live guitar picks. It's got that kind of stuff on them. I'll give you some of Ed DeBrill's guitar picks that look like that. I'll be giving you some of Charles Green's guitar picks. We'll have a peek at those in just a moment. And yeah, we'll make it handsome for you. We'll hook you up. We will. All right.
No, we should tell them about the delay.
Yeah, so there is a delay between us doing this and what you're seeing on YouTube, a couple seconds, but it mixes the chat up. So what we see in our chat order might not be what you see in your chat order. So keep that in mind. This is just for fun. Any discrepancies, we'll settle it like men. No, we have plenty to share. We will hook you up. Yeah, good luck. Nearly impossible. They tell me that this one is kind of easy. And I think some of you, if you know the answer to this, you will know it immediately. This could be quick, so get ready to type.
Good luck, you guys.
Good luck, man. And woman.
All right. We are looking tonight for a song title. All right. That's your hint. I gave him a hint, all right?
Yeah.
That's your hint. All right. It's a song title. So here we go. Good luck. Thanks for being here. What was the title of the song that Gary Cherone took with him after he left Van Halen and recorded it with his next band? Give me the song title.
Good guess. Good guess, Ryan. More than words.
Oh, boner.
Oh my. Leave it to him.
All right, kids. You know your stuff.
Come on. Somebody's doing www.google.com right now.
I try to word these things to confuse them. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Crazy.
There it is.
There it is.
Jay Turner.
Very nice.
All right, way to go, Jay.
Yeah.
Very cool, Jay. My goodness, man. He's on fire, guys.
Jay Turner knows his Van Halen. Jay Turner, in case you don't know, the intro at the start of the show that we ran, yeah, this one right here.
We're Mean Street, and you're watching.
That's Jay Turner.
Right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Nicely done, Jay.
Excellent.
Got his
Jay.
guitar picks too.
Yeah.
Right out
Jay.
the gate. My goodness.
I knew somebody might, It was tough, but I thought maybe a couple of you knew it. JG, welcome.
Welcome, JG. Right on, man.
Hey,
Welcome to
JG.
Halenville.
And there's Miss Patty Deal. Good to see you.
Hi,
Hey,
Patty.
Patty.
Always nice to see you. All right. So Jay
Very cool.
Turner, yeah,
Very
Jay,
cool.
man.
Wow.
I can't write these hard enough. The weeks I write them hard, Ron, nobody gets them.
Can't win to lose, Tony.
I don't want to win. I want somebody to win, but I want to make them hard. I don't want to make them easy.
Is Jay catching up to Christopher Live Sour? And
He is.
I think he's getting close.
He is.
The year is young. That's what guy said it for you, Christopher. Christopher says the year is young, guys.
Nah, I love you guys, man. You can win every week if
awesome.
you want to win.
He's just
but
awesome.
I'm going to just write them harder and harder.
Yeah.
I don't have so many quarters in my pocket now.
That's it.
All right. I'm gonna get back to what we were talking about. So Charles, you have kept us waiting for
Yes.
for me for 2 years, but we've been waiting for this moment for a little while. So everybody, Charles has a little unboxing that is rather cool.
I said the other day, we reached out to Greg at Legend Picks. This package right here, I'm going to go ahead and open it up. This pick here is the culmination of the work of Ed and Tony primarily, and input from Brendan. So this is an actual culmination of this show. I'm really proud of this pick, you guys. I'm really, really proud of it. Oh man, this is cool. So comes in a bag. I got a bag of picks. Let me get one of these out. Wow. Wow. These things pop. You never really get it till you get one in your hand.
Show me the money.
Let me check this out. Tony, I got about 30 of these coming to you in the morning, brother.
All
And I'll
right.
share
All
them
right.
with all
There
our
it
winners.
is.
Oh,
There's the pick.
all roads lead to Van Halen.
This is my favorite of all the Van Halen graphics. It's got the blue sky with the clouds. That is so California. It's got kind of a deserty landscape, which is so California, and just an asphalt highway, which is really California. But I love this pick. This is my favorite, and I had my name signed on the back. in green ink. Just
wow.
straight up. And
nice, Charles.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to thank Greg at Legend Picks for being just good Lord, man. What a professional dude, man.
Are
He
those medium?
communicated with me like twice over the course of, it wasn't even 2 weeks.
He's
it
quick.
wasn't 2 weeks. You want to talk about turnaround?
Are those medium gauge? What are they? Do you know?
Yeah, they're medium. I would call them a medium.
So everybody, I'll be sharing those cool new Charles Green picks with all our winners. So, yeah, you can
Thanks,
count
guys,
on that.
and thanks, Ed and Tony. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome,
appreciate
Charles.
you guys
They're
so much.
awesome, dude. Love those.
Also,
picks,
Tony, I got something else I'd like to open up if I can, real quick. Jimmy Ray is awesome. He's really awesome, and he sent he won in trivia the other night. He won one of those poker chips.
There he is. Good to see
on
you,
HALENVILLE. Hey, there you are. And Jimmy Ray, I just want to say thank you. I'm opening this up. Tony sent it to me immediately, like he always does. And I've been looking at these things for a while now, and I have never got to hold one until now. And so let me get this open. Tony is so good at sealing this stuff.
These are awesome, Charles.
Oh, this is cool. Let me yeah, he don't mess around, man. Oh, dude. Oh man. This is
rip it open.
I'm gonna go ahead and take it out of the pack.
Rip it open. Hell yeah.
They have weight. They're weighty. So okay. Jimmy Ray. This one's for you, brother. I want to thank you, man. This is absolutely. Look at, I got the circle.
Which guitar? Oh, the circle guitar.
Yeah, nice. Man. You rock, Jimmy Ray. Thank you.
Yes, he does.
Most cool, man. Most
right
cool.
On.
Tony, how many of those poker chips do you have left?
A few.
Okay, there's still some. Okay.
We'll still do that.
Don't worry, Jay. You can still win one.
We've got a few. Those poker chips have the Van Halen logo on one side and a different Eddie guitar on the reverse, and we have given away a handful of them and got 6 or 8 left, 6 or 7 maybe, whatever. Yeah, we'll be doing that. Right on.
Nice.
Absolutely. So let me get back to where we were.
Yes, he did, Ryan. Ryan Hall. Yes, he did.
All right.
Right there. Very cool, man.
All right. Hang on. Let me.
Jimmy Ray's a nice, generous guy. Just not unlike Ron here. He's contributed a lot to a lot of shows, actually.
All right. Let me get where I want to be here. There we are. All right. You can see that okay?
Yep.
Let's see what's after this.
I forget.
So this is the Wolfgang giveaway.
Oh. Right. There was a Wolfgang guitar giveaway at con number 2, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
And of course we got it. It was autographed. It was I think it was autographed, and it was from donated by the band. And in con 3, it was a Wolfgang or a Freudian slip. It was a Michael Anthony bass that was donated.
Nice.
That was raffled off.
Oh wow.
That's cool.
Wow.
This is the the handout program for Con 2 in Vegas, and of course it denotes the people from the committee who were involved, and I think on the flip side, which might be the next slide, activities welcome note,
Yeah.
evening entertainment, and
Top
you know
notes.
it goes without saying, and like even with this podcast, Tony, you do a lot of work to put it together, and same with Ed and Charles and everybody that's involved. But these cons, it's like herding cats trying to, if there's a money that has to be sent in, or because you're renting like a convention room where the band is going to be playing, or activities are going to occur, and some people don't send in, other people do, and just it's it's a lot of work. It really is. And so
Yeah.
the people who were involved with doing this, they really had a real love for the band and for the people that were on the list.
Yeah. Right. Right.
There's
on.
Ellen,
Yeah, there's Ellen on bass,
Timothy.
Timothy
Oh, this is
lead singer,
great. This is too cool. Check
Dave
this.
Russell on the drums,
Brown.
Michael Brown
Yep.
on lead guitar. This was at the I think it was the top room at the Riot House that we rented out. And it was pretty cool because I think there was a pool. There's a pool on the roof of the Hyatt.
Oh, nice.
So it was it's very
There's
nice.
a picture somewhere of Van Halen around that pool.
Right there, I want to point out that the fellow there on the guitar is Mike Heasley. He was the one that you had mentioned who had taken over the list in the early days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Really nice guy. Rocket scientist.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Wow.
Got him on VHS tape. Right on.
That's Jimmy Wilson's. Yeah.
Let me get back. Sorry.
Oops.
All right. Shit. Hang on. Let me get back to where I was. Okay. Just let's see here. All right. All right. So yeah. All right, here we go. Okay, let me get back there. Sorry. All right, here we go. All right, I guess that right there is that shirt right there.
Yep.
No question on that. There should be no question mark.
Sorry, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure whether that was a shirt or a bandana of some sort.
Ah, I see. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was
Nice.
That's really cool right there.
Yeah, it is.
that picture right there for that laminate. And of course, as the cons progressed, we became more sophisticated in the artwork and what we did. And that is the center from the VH1 with the original Warner Brothers with the palm lined streets.
Oh,
that was lifted. So there's a lot of significance and a lot of details in so many of these things.
I applaud your graphic abilities.
Yeah,
especially
nice.
back then.
Yeah, nice.
That's cool.
Two thousand calendar.
Nice. Who made those, Ron?
I was not involved with that. There were other people who they actually, there might be names listed. I don't have that at my fingertips.
Yeah. I guess this is on the back of the calendar. That's the back.
That looks to be
Could be.
Yeah, because for the individual months, it would focus on whose birthday it is.
I think we
Right.
have those.
There you go.
Yep. Eddie right up top.
Excellent. Very cool.
John Shell, Jeannie Nix. So many names that just like, I'm like, wow, I remember them.
So as you're flipping through those months, the first con that I went to in Vegas,
Mully.
There he is.
there he is.
Hey. Right on, man. That's cool.
So as you're the first con that I went to, of course, you know these people from the emails, but you've never met these people in person.
Right.
And you're going to well, okay, if you're from California or Vegas, or it's not so far, but if you're coming from the East Coast, it was, you know, a big deal, especially, 25 years ago. And you really didn't necessarily advertise to friends and family, oh, I'm going to a gathering of people I know from the internet. It's like, what kind of long-haired degenerates from following a rock band are you going to encounter? And the miracle was you would meet these people, and they were just the nicest people, with rare exception, just the nicest people. And to this day, I consider some of these people some of my very best friends. And so it was really quite amazing. And people from all walks of life, lawyers, rocket scientists, police officers, engineers, musicians, you name it. And it was a good deal. It was a very good deal.
Wow, this is really cool.
Nice.
Wow.
Eric Broadbent. John Daly.
Mm-hmm.
So Tony, you recognize some of these names?
Right? Yeah. How many names, Ron, do you see active still all these years later?
I would guess, I don't know, 10-20% maybe.
Yeah.
But everybody kind of, keep in mind the VHML was a very big tent that had a lot of different people involved. And you nowadays, with as much social media that exists, you may come across somebody and say, I remember him very well. Others, they've kind of just, gone stealthy. So you can look people up and run across them, and others, it's like, I wonder what happened to him or her. So it's just like with anything else in life, Tony. Things evolve. People are in a different place. There's often been some, or not often, but in some occasions, talk of trying to have, other cons, or trying to recreate what we experienced in the late '90s. And I think it will never be able to be duplicated. It was a special place in time. It was a special time in society, and you can certainly try, but it's just like when you get married and you are on that honeymoon. It's just a very special scenario, and it's a lot of fond memories for those who were involved.
Oh yeah.
And,
yeah. Well said.
Yeah.
I think Ellen wanted to try to do a reunion back in 2017. She mentioned it on the Facebook page, but some people said yes, and blah, blah, but it never came to fruition.
So, guys, you've still got all this. Do you still have access to all the mail that you used to have, or has it all kind of fallen by the wayside as servers changed?
I don't. I don't know who kept the history. Ron, do you know?
Um,
I'm just sitting here thinking. I was reading what Tony's got posted up here, and I was thinking back, and I was thinking, like, what if I was in 1994, 95, and
Yeah, you have to
talking
put
about
yourself
50. I
back
was thinking
then.
50 messages a day or 50 messages in a bundle coming in, and I would love to catch just a section of that history and hear what all those people are
Talking
what's
about
the subject of the day. What are they talking about? I would
But
love
it's
to be
Van
there.
Halen though,
That's
so
what I'm
but
saying.
that's
It's
that.
like,
It's so cool to first discover that, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
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 Charles, I can tell you that somewhere in my archives, right next to all my VHS tapes, I've got floppy disks with backups of Eudora.
By the way, the VHS tapes impressed the heck out of me, Ron. I just want
You
you
have
to know
floppies.
that.
Yeah, next to my 3.5-inch floppies, I've got backups, and
Do you have to bake those?
Yeah, maybe. It's right after
That's funny.
all of the tapes from 5150 are resurrected, then I'll get the VHML emails resurrected.
Oh, that'd be great.
Wow.
I'd love to see some of those. They're so funny, some of them.
Wow.
So the Van
CompuServe.
Halen mailing list, as it progressed, you could get meet and greets
Yes.
if you were on the list, right?
It definitely happened on the 3 tour. I'm a little bit.
I'll be back in a minute, guys.
I don't think that it was. Somebody correct me in the chat. I don't think that happened on the 2004 tour. Of course, I Love All Access was selling VIP packages at that time, where you could go to a sound check. Actually, 2004 tour, 2000. 2007, 2012, 2015. But meet and greets, it seemed to have kind of faded away.
What was back then? What was the interest in the mailing list, Ron, about the bootlegs? Was it huge? Was it a huge part of it?
It was a huge part. Actually, there were certain projects that were coordinated or undertaken by at least people who were on the VHML. And there's, you might have heard about the UNCDs. I think first it started off as cassette tapes. That I think there were a bunch of cassette tapes. I think 11 audio tapes, and it was you got a set, and then you ripped the copy and you dubbed a copy, and then would kind of daisy chain it out. And then there was a set of 4 CDs, the UNCDs, which had, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was the same as what was on the audio tapes, but it was there was definitely interest, just like with any Van Halen hardcore fan, always digging deep, looking for anything special, looking for one-offs. It was so there's definitely an interest in that.
VHboots.com.
Neanderthal, I see down there. Paul Marshall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was involved. Yep.
Nice.
That is excellent.
Are you reading the chat, Ron?
I am.
I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back. Excuse me one second.
All right.
So while we have Bill Broadway on here, I meant to ask him how, I never went to the IRC and we're going to show some pictures of that as well. But what was it, like Macromedia's Shockwave or one of those, or Java? And how was the quality of? Was it video? Was it set up like a video like this, or where you could see people and talk to them in a video chat, or how did that work? Because I was never involved in it. I thought about going over there and trying it, but I was shy.
Yeah, I'll let Bill type an answer to that. But I only dabbled in IRC a handful of times.
Was it just like a real life chat? Is that all it was, or?
I think the text just came up.
Without like relying on email kind of thing.
Right. It was
okay.
It was live streaming, and I remember skins were a big thing.
Yes.
Which I just didn't get it, but I guess
with the Winamp.
Yeah.
Winamp skins. Yep.
You can get like an Eddie striped skin if you wanted, or
and you'll see that it's in the slideshow here.
Okay.
So these are all from the website back in 2005 or something. I lifted them, from what is the con? I lifted them from the Wayback Machine, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
All right. Let's see here. All right.
Molly sent me a couple pictures. That's awesome.
Are these new ones? No, this is.
That's still part of the
same calendar. Or is it? Is this a new year?
This is the 2000 calendar. I'm not sure how you went from the website to back to the calendar again, but Scotty Ross. Yeah, look at that. Kim Shaman was the T-shirt gal.
Yeah, they're in. Okay. Let's see what I got.
I think he went backwards.
No,
yeah, keep scrolling through. How to get a T-shirt, blah, blah, blah. Other off-topic lists, yep. There were splinters of lists, Tony, that happened afterward. Because Timothy wanted to have his own list that only talked about Van Halen. You couldn't do any off-topic stuff. Huh. He wouldn't allow it on his list. There was the Sammy Hagar mailing list. There was a David Lee Roth mailing list.
There was a Valerie Bertinelli mailing list.
Yep. So those are all offshoots of ours, of the main Van Halen mailing list. So, and I belong to all of them. It's a lot to go through, man. I'm telling you. It's probably.
Okay, let me show you this.
And relationships were ended. I'm sure because of the mailing list.
You guys will have to tell me which con this video is from.
2000, I think, at the Riot House. I'm pretty sure.
Let's see here.
Yep, 2000.
Yeah.
So this came along with Hot for Teacher in the background, but we can't play it for copyright reasons.
So people would bring all of their memorabilia, their posters, and lay it out, and everybody would just take it all in.
Nice.
Yeah. Got that, need that.
Oh, man, check all this out.
Yeah, amazing, huh? Look at that big one. Wow. Oh, I hope.
Wow.
These guys from Under the Bus aren't on here, are they? I just gave them a sound drop.
They'll get you when you least expect it.
Son of a... That must have been a great show just to watch that with the windows and the view behind it. That's great. There's your sign-in desk or whatever. And Wow.
Yeah.
It was interesting. It was you're in your element. Normally your computer. Now you're kind of surrounded with you're in your element, let's say.
hmm
Yeah.
So Ron, as the years went on, what became of the mailing list as the world technology improved, and did the mailing list fade away, or did it branch off? How all that work?
That's a very tricky question, Tony.
Well,
Yeah.
I know it's not going to be an exact answer either. So,
Well, to the best of my recollection, uh, there were, as Ed mentioned, splinter groups. Um, there were, I think did it go to Yahoo
Yeah.
for a
Yahoo
while,
groups. Yep.
and then eventually it kind of at some point, the Yahoo people said, "Well, we're not going to support this anymore," and then it went to I think Facebook,
Hmm.
and
It's still
then
there.
it's still there.
mhm.
Yeah. So that's a really sloppy answer for a very good question, Tony.
Well,
A- a-
I know that a lot of things are out of everybody's control as technology in the world says here. This is how it is. You
Yeah.
know. So and it what went into the mailing list and its popularity when the band started to not have so good times, when things weren't well in the band, what became of all
There,
that then?
there were still posts and whatnot, and usually about the dysfunction of the band. Um, but it was less and less as technology grew, and you had better platforms like MySpace and Facebook and all that stuff. Uh, People tended to gravitate toward those, um, and email. It kind of became a dinosaur in a way.
Mhm.
yes, Scott Gilbert and Bill Broadway mentioned some things in the chat about how technology was advancing.
And the financial upkeep. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because somebody had to pay for that. And
Think about
and
that, the financial upkeep of the list. What would that involve? What would
paying a
it, I mean,
server
the server, so the cost of the server would be, what
so
would it
much
have
a
been
month, whatever.
per month? What would it have been? Any ideas?
I
Or
remember sending money to help out toward the end, and because
Mhm.
I wanted to keep going. But
I understand
Yeah.
that, bro.
I don't remember what the cost was. I wasn't involved in it, but you know, um,
It just faded away.
just
It
kind of
faded away.
faded
Well,
away.
it didn't fade away. It morphed into something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Social media was free, Scott Gilbert says.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
He's right.
yeah.
And so really, Ed and Ron, you're here, and we're talking Van Halen. So I guess this is just the latest. That it never went away.
Do I have to give you some money, Tony?
No, I
$1
mean,
million Van Halen bill.
Yeah. I
yeah,
got
there
I
you
got
go.
2 million here.
That's priceless. That's
Um,
priceless.
but yes, the mailing list was the precursor to everything that
Yeah,
we
Mully's
do on the
right.
internet now.
Tim was running the list by himself and asked if anybody would be willing to help, and I sent him some money. It was voluntary. You didn't have to,
No,
but
you didn't have to, but
he reached out and said, "Hey, things are dying down here. Let's do we keep it going, or do we just kind of go on to something else?" And it lasted for a while.
I imagine the universities, Van Halen back in the early 80s.
Molly, I like my pass, brother.
they were really the network. There was no internet in the early '80s. There was none. So the universities and schools were a real big hub for the promotion of the band for all
Yeah.
bands. All bands. I can remember seeing Motorhead advertising at El Camino College, which is ridiculous. I wish I had the flyer now. But yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy.
So Ron, did where the mailing list ended up? Could it have grown? What would have been different to make it hang around back then? I mean, was it inevitable, or?
I think it's pure conjecture on my part, but perhaps if our favorite band, was, did things a certain way, maybe if they pursued a worldwide, truly global stadium tour, and I think the wagons would have circled around them, and maybe the Van Halen mailing list would have seen a greater subscription and seen more activity. But we're all getting a little more gray, and life goes on. So again, it's just conjecture on my part, but I see these the Taylor Swift tour coming through, and I said, darn it, I wish Van Halen would sell out stadiums like that.
Yeah, no kidding.
What are you going to do?
Excellent.
Wasn't the mailing list included on a couple of albums in the credits?
Is this the trivia question for next week, Tony?
No, I'm thinking that the Balance album and maybe another one had it.
In the Van Halen Encyclopedia, a lot of members were credited for their input because they knew so much about the band, and the author C.J. Chilvers, got together with a lot of the members, and they gave their input and help with the encyclopedia.
Nice. Right on.
Yeah, you had you mentioned CJ was also a cross section of just a lot of people like Jeff Hausman. He came to a bunch of the cons, and
he runs the store still.
Yeah, and he'd set up a little booth and have merchandise there. Yeah, it was.
There's a long history with the mailing list and the band and its fans. We were pretty much the official fan club for quite a while.
Yeah.
That is outstanding.
Yeah. Wow. So, how many cons were you at, Ron?
4.
Again, 4 of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't make it to any. I was involved in the family situation thing, and my ex actually thought I was having an affair with somebody. Just, why are you on a computer all the time? So yeah, my computer time was a little too much.
Oh man,
it was another world. In other words, it was like I said earlier. You come home from work and jump on and say, "Oh, who posted this or who posted that? Or who answered this?" It was pretty neat.
That's excellent.
What do you think, Ron?
Yeah, I there seemed to be a distancing of the band, with the exception of Valerie, from the VHML. I think there was even a question as far as, how technically savvy, computer-wise, were members of the band, and I would tend to agree with that statement.
Yeah, they didn't care about it. They didn't care about the technology at the time. You know, they were never one for.
Was it the drama?
No, I don't think that was it. I just think they were on a different level. They just didn't see it that way. That we saw it.
Yeah.
They barely let Brad post anything on the official website. I mean, there's the infamous "no news is good news," because everybody was asking, "Hey, what's going on? You know, what's going on with the band?" And his reply was, "No news is good news."
Yeah.
And you know, there was an uptick in 2004 when the Sammy Hagar reunion happened, and everybody was all excited about that, and there was a lot of traffic and people talking about the VIP things that they got and the concerts they went to and so forth.
Right.
So, yeah, Scott's right. Ed and Al were opposed to the internet. They didn't like it at all. They didn't care.
So it was definitely Val who was online,
Yes.
and there were, I remember a couple of concerts, and I'm not one to pursue celebrities, but during one meet and greet, during the meet and greet, it was at the Philadelphia Spectrum. I'll never forget it. Got to go up, meet the band, shake Edward Van Halen's hand, shake Alex's hand. Gary was like the nicest guy in the world. Michael Anthony, also very warm and outgoing. Biggest pop of the night, meeting Val. Coming up, making reference to my my handle, which was Candyman at the time. And
nice.
It's just so weird because here you are meeting the band that you love and adore, and on the night you meet them, here's Valerie Bertinelli, and you get to shake her hand, and she's talking to you like a distant cousin. It really messes with your mind.
That's great.
It was very weird, very weird.
That's awesome, though.
That's super cool. That's super cool, man.
Yeah.
So back in '98, our Colonel Mully got to hang out with the band in Japan, and he sent me a picture of him with Eddie. Sorry about the light. It's hard to
at an angle. Yeah.
Hard to get the right angle. It's bright. I'm sorry.
Hold it still.
Oh, sorry. It's not. It's not.
Great.
It looks white. I'm sorry, but and him and his wife at Cinco de Mully, and
Excellent.
what else we got here? Oh, this is during the Van Halen 3 tour with with Eddie's guitar. I wish. Oh, sorry. I wish you guys could see this really well, but he's got Eddie's guitar on the stage. Oh, there we go.
Oh, almost.
I have to hold it really close.
Almost, brother. We're almost there. Oh
there
my
it is.
God.
There
Yes.
it is.
Yes.
Yay!
All right. So the trick is hold it close.
Cool. That's cool as
And,
shit. That was worth waiting for.
Here he is with Mikey's.
Nice.
So he got all access. He spent a few days with the guys. This is him and Roger during Cinco de Mully. Anyway, yeah, that one's not going to come through. But yeah, Yeah, he sent me those, so I figured I'd show you guys.
Nice.
So it paid to be a list member, in other words, is what I'm saying. You did get special privileges, as a lot of people did. So
That is excellent.
Yeah. Oh.
And even to this day, guys, if there's an event, if you're going to a certain part of the country and you know certain people that you had relations with from the list, just like with anyone else, you just touch base and go have an adult beverage with them or go see a show. It still happens.
You make lifelong friends.
We all in the community. There's not and all stuff about doing this show about the mailing list aside, we in the community, Ron, the mailing list hits my ear once a week, once every other week. Absolutely. Somebody, referencing whatever. Yeah. So it's still talked about.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of great people on the list, and a lot of great people in the community nowadays.
Yep.
You meet people because of your love of the band, and you make friends. Because you all have that in common.
Scott Gilbert points out that now they meet to see WVH.
Yeah.
So, that's totally awesome. That is totally awesome.
And they are just hitting the road. They had just announced a new run. Those guys did. Go catch them. Nita Strauss opening all across the USA through December too. Yep. Yeah.
Did you have any more pictures, Tony, to go through?
That's it.
Oh, I thought there was a lot more. I sent you pictures of a.
Oh,
cake.
hang on a second. You did.
There's
another message.
I think we had over 80
Yeah.
pictures total. There's a picture of a cake from the con. There's some of the old IRC channel that Bill Broadway.
I don't have that, dude.
Did really?
I do not. No. I do have another image though. Yeah. Let me bring this up. If you want to comment on this, Ed.
Yeah. So could you make it bigger, if you don't mind, without us, or?
I can't.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So these are the members that passed away, and there's a couple more that I forgot about. We have Liddell Wallace, top right. I'm sorry, top left. John Kivlin in the middle. Ben Italiano, who just passed away about a month ago. Tina Daly. Holt. Bob Bade.
Penguin.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Penguin. And Mark Holt was Holtnader. Maria Scruffy Hardy, and Bonnie McDivitt. I can't read that. I can't read the last name. I'm sorry. But there was also Lisa Kozad, and John Daly, Johnny Danger, who also passed away. I don't know of any others. Ron and I thought about it, and those are the ones we came up with. So rest in peace.
Rest in peace. While you have that up there, looking at that picture of Liddell Wallace, I recall a story where Liddell was in a meet and greet, and I think he went up to he went up to Eddie and somehow told him his name was Liddell, and if I'm remembering the story correctly, he said, Liddell, what kind of name is Liddell? And Liddell looked at him and said, I don't know. What kind of name is Low Device?
That's great. How do you like that, Eddie?
That's not
wow.
bad. That is not bad.
That's a good one.
So Bill Broadway, he met Liddell, Marie, and Tina. So that's nice. That's nice, you know.
Excellent. Very
so
cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Ed, I don't have any more, and not of the cake anyway. I have the calendars, and I have the passes, and I have the ones of the band, and those are it.
Oh, maybe they didn't go through somehow. I don't know.
And all of the ones.
Yeah, there's the cake
that had the text.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the oddball thing with that is that, you know, you just like with any cake, you tell the baker what you want on there, and then when we ended up getting it, it was I don't know what's going on here. They put a big space between the H and the L, or the M and the L. So
yeah,
it went down in infamy.
So here's the website way back when, what it looked like. And I can show you. Here's the guitar competition. They had a guitar competition for once a year for, I don't know how I mean, help me out. I forget how many years. Here's Bill Broadway's IRC channel with the Winamp. I believe that's Winamp. Where you can put the skins on there. 1999 is that one.
Wow.
And which was pretty much like a live chat, and they would go. I think they would do it once a week. And here's another one in 2004, the IRC channel, when they got back together with Sammy. So, yeah, it's getting blurred. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
So, yeah, and there was a bunch of other the un-CDs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool right there.
The unreleased. This is the 4-disc set. 4 CD collection. We have just pictures of, like, Ellen was a big part of the Van Halen mailing list, and she's still around. This is her and Eddie at the Smithsonian thing. Sorry, I'm trying to get it to focus.
That is a great.
But anyway,
excellent photograph, man.
Yeah, so there's here's the Topica. When you had to sign up with Topica for the mailing list, back when they were hosting it, yeah, it's hard to see. It tells you how to. Yeah, see, it's not focusing. But yeah, there were some other pictures in here that probably didn't go through for one reason or another. Oh, Minicon. Here's a Minicon. This was at Holtnader's house. Mark Holt, 1998. He held this at his home. He's one of the guys who passed away, unfortunately. He's at the bottom left with the hat on, like leaning over with a white shirt. It says Van Halen Minicon. And this was in Michigan, right, Ron?
Yep.
Sorry, it's not focusing, guys.
That's fine.
But yeah, you know, I've got a few other pictures in here of just here's one. I think Scott Gilbert's in this one. He's the guy leaning in right there on the right. And this was in Toronto. where they were doing an in-store signing in Toronto, and this was the night before, and they got their I think Scotty Ross helped out with that, where they got their passes and whatnot. So yeah, that's about it.
Ed, you mentioned about the Toronto group, and when we had the Con 4 in Toronto, one of the activities that was listed was a tour of, was it Q107? There was a
Yes.
there was a member, Bruce Henne, who orchestrated us. There were two tours, like a first session and a second session, because there were so many people wanting to go on the tour, but got us into the radio station, took us into the studio, showed us how they do what they do with all of their discs and carts and whatnot. And I think at the time, a lot of the studios were converted to digital. And so it was very cool seeing all the memorabilia and where people could play pool next to the station, the studios. It was it was very cool. And then the other thing I want to mention was when we talk about these mini cons, all the split offs and the interest to do it before a big con.
CJ.
So you mentioned Michigan, you mentioned the BAGT. Chicago had one in Cleveland, Ohio, with Paul Belfi one year.
Paul Belfi, nice.
Yeah, it was a winter fest. And then there was actually one in Dallas, Texas.
Oh wow!
Diane Mappis's place.
Oh man!
So it was, and a little bit of cross mini con rivalry. It was Bag the BAGT. So a lot of
nice.
Bay Area get together. Yep. And the good thing, the good thing is there were you got emails from people all over the world too. Just like now, you see people from Australia.
That's another good point. You had people.
It was
coming
international.
From it was international, from Australia, from the UK, just all over. It was it was enlightening because for a lot of us, you meet people from other countries that you normally wouldn't run across.
Right. And nowadays it's easy, we get people from down under all the time on our shows, and Adam Roach and those guys.
Simon.
Yep, Simon.
But it is very cool that you meet a lot of people in mailing lists like that, and are still friends all these years later.
Right.
That's cool.
Right. Tony, another thing that whenever we were having the mini cons, always tried to focus, if we could possibly do it, with a tribute band. So like for this mini con in Chicago, there were 2 Van Halen tribute bands. And of course, being in Chicago, there was a theme on the laminate of Wrigley Spearmint Gum, but the Canadian Sammy tribute band 5150, and then the band Fair Warning played a 2-bill set. So
that's great.
That was
very cool.
So Bill Broadway sent me a picture. I already had this on my phone, and I thought I sent it to Tony, but this is 1998. There we go. Hey, that ain't too bad. There's Rex Jackson with the bald head in the middle. I don't know some of these people, but I'm sure Ron does.
Yeah, to the left of Rob is Mr. Costanza.
In the middle? Yeah.
Yeah.
To the right. I'm sorry. Oh, Brian Costanza.
Brian Costanza.
Guy.
Yes.
Oh, the other follically challenged person?
Say again?
Is he follically challenged like Rex?
Not as much as Rex.
Okay.
Challenged?
Follically.
Follically.
In other words, he's losing his hair.
Jill Barone and her mother were there. Her mother has the Eddie striped hat on.
Yep. Sorry, I'm shaking. I'm trying to hold it steady. So anyway, yeah, Bill just sent me that, but it's pretty cool.
Nice.
There's so many memories, with so many get-togethers and stuff. I'm sure we could go all night. I mean, I'm sure there's if I had asked a lot of these people to send us stuff, I'm sure there's quite the compilation. So
that's what it's all about, guys.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of you, Ron, and you got a list yourself, Ed, you too, of people that you've met on the mailing list who you're still in contact with, friends with, whatever with, still today, who you know.
Yep.
So, yeah, it can never get old, and, you should talk about it.
And it was always kind of nerve-wracking to meet them in real life. You weren't sure what you were getting into because anybody can hide behind a keyboard. And I did meet Ron briefly in 2004 in Worcester. But we were supposed to meet at an Irish pub, and my wife and I at the time, we came late. And it was you and Ron Higgins, and I think Scott Gilbert. Was he with you guys?
Yeah. Yes.
And we were supposed to meet you guys at the pub, and we got there late. And we saw you outside the venue, and I think we saw you you had the passes as well as we did, the backstage stuff, the VIP thing, and I think we hung around in the function room and all that. That was a lot of fun in 2004.
Yes, it was.
It was great. It was great. A lot of good memories. So you get to meet the people who you have been interacting with for years, and for the most part, as far as I recall, I wasn't disappointed.
Excellent.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's always
so. It's
fun.
one big family, one big happy family, like it is today.
Yeah. Exactly right.
A lot
all
of good
because of Van Halen.
Right. Common denominator.
Yeah, I don't know if they even have any sense of, all that they have created. Probably not, but maybe to an extent.
Well, I mean, we know how they are, but to not like a group of people, the mailing list, to not like a group of people that
worship you,
band together, that love you. I mean,
right.
I don't see nothing wrong. They shouldn't have but.
Right. There's a lot of roads out there, right, Charles?
That's right.
Where do they lead?
Right here, brother.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So Ed and Ron, are we leaving anything out here?
We covered a lot. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more we could have covered if we went into further detail. But this was a great, a good, maybe we should have a part 2.
Yeah.
I think that there, on a granular level, there's so many things that you could get into.
Right.
We were just hitting the high spots and just wanted to give some kind of an impression. To do it justice, there's things that we've glossed over, but it's great reading the chat with a lot of names of people I recognize and adding their comments, and that's really contributing to this whole particular cast. So thanks to those people.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys in the chat as well as you, Ron and Ed. I didn't get to experience what all you guys are talking about. I'm really envious. I'm sitting here appreciating what you're sharing with me from my heart, guys. you experience something together that is truly unique to you. Priceless. It's priceless.
Yeah.
Priceless, guys.
In
Thank you
the
for sharing it.
90s,
Thank you.
the mailing list was right there. The whole world knew about it, whether you were on it or not, you knew about it. And I remember my early internet interest, Van Halen interest, was the bootlegs.
Yes.
That was the,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was a great time.
But of course now, for so much of like bootlegs, there's a lot socially available that you can.
Wow.
That,
That's true. That's true, Molly. That's true. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say that as far as the bootlegs go, there's a lot of sources available, and some, some are very reliable. But
I know. I just got a that I've never heard, the 1986 Van Halen Greensboro with Hagar, and I had never heard that. And yeah, it's good stuff. But as far as I was asked this, I can get at it. The the some are great and some are not so great. This is medium. It's right in the middle. It's okay, but it takes me back to that night and all the raps in between the songs. I mean, yeah.
What year was that, Tony?
86.
Wow.
5150
Yeah,
tour. Yeah.
like May. Yeah, the 5150 tour. But yeah, Dan, really cool. Yeah, had never heard it. Thought I had heard all of the ones that I was at. I'd like to get in ones that I was at.
Of course.
And I had never heard this before.
Like I told you earlier, Tony, I went to the Worcester one, and they played four nights. I don't recall which one I was at. I know I was at one of them. It was in August, I think. And yeah, I remember experiencing it. I remember Eddie's pink pantaloon pants, or whatever you call them,
parachute pants,
shining bright on stage, and and then I saw, obviously Live Without a Net, and I'm like, yep, there they are. So
yeah,
but like you said, Tony, I don't think anything was as special as the one that they recorded in Connecticut and in New Haven, but
yeah,
it was still special when you were there.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember it well. Goodness. Okay, so guys, I think we're gonna wind things down. Let me see where we are here on the map. We could go all night. Of course we could. But we are definitely going to plan on a part 2 talking about the Van Halen mailing list. So you can count on that. So
Excellent.
We all want to give a huge thanks to Ron. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely, thank you, man.
Yeah, man. This has been so much
Very
fun.
Very cool.
Tony, yeah. I want to thank you. Thank Ed for all of your preparatory work. Charles, very nice meeting you. Nice to have your succinct questions coming through, and shout out to the people on the chat, especially a lot of names that I remember from the past. Yeah. Bill Broadway, John Hackler, Molly, Scott Gilbert, Doug Fox, Kurt 5150, Jay, anybody else I inadvertently missed. Great seeing you guys type in your comments. and rock on.
Right on. Nice, nice. All right. So, everybody, thanks for being here. Remember, we talk Van Halen here every Tuesday, 9 p.m. If you're not subscribed here, please subscribe. We are approaching 1,000 subs, and we're almost there.
Getting
Thank
close.
you for that.
Very close.
So upcoming here on the channel, in the meantime, on the weekend, we get together and we talk about guitar picks and rock memorabilia. But this weekend here on Show Me Your Pick, that's what we call it, we're going to talk about Keith Urban
Little
and
Mr.
his
Urban.
guitar playing and happenings, and show you a lot of his guitar picks too. And
Excellent.
Giving
Great
away
guitar
a
player.
cool Yngwie Malmsteen pick for trivia, which we do that on Saturday as well. That's super fun. Yeah. And we misbehave a little on Saturday. We tend to walk the
Little
line
bit.
on
A little bit.
Tuesday, but
It happens.
not Saturday sometimes. So.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Am I missing anything? I don't think I am. Ron, thank you again, sir.
Thank you,
You're
Ron.
on, Ron. Thank you.
Thanks for the
Most cool.
the cool stuff, man. Just
Yeah, I appreciate
yeah,
it.
dude.
Really appreciate it.
All right. We'll see you right back here next Tuesday.
See you, everybody.
HALENVILLE Live. Any last words there, Charles Green?
Hey guys, just don't forget this is Halenville. Around here, it doesn't matter if you go north, south, east, or west. Every road's going to lead you straight to Van Halen. Have a great week. Do something nice for somebody for no reason whatsoever. And rock on. Love you guys.
Rock on.
Be well.
Oh, yeah. That was a lot of fun.
Oh God! Least I don't need to beg or borrow. Yeah! Oh!
Sing it, Dave.